Hello and welcome to CSM Today. I'm your host, Ben Harris, and tonight I'll be joined by crew members of CSM Theater's latest production, Pinocchio. We will be right back. Hello, thank you for joining us. Today we have with us this fine gentleman here. And just so I don't forget your name, because that's happened a couple of times before, would you just mind introducing yourself to us real quick?
My name is Frank Bowles, shop steward at CSM, and for Pinocchio, I was the soundboard operator.
So let's first talk a little bit about what you do as, well, your main job, shop steward. What does that entail?
Well, I go around everywhere doing everything, working on the sets, hanging the lights, focusing the lights, changing the gels. I'm getting more into sound now. I didn't have to actually go and find any of the sound cues, but I just had to make sure that I could adjust to how the actors were projecting and how the music was. And I pretty much just keep all the other people from talking to the TD.
So you're kind of like a middleman liaison, but also kind of doing your own thing when you're
Yeah.
not. All right. So with Pinocchio, you said that you were, which is CSM Theater's latest production, by the way. You mentioned that you were working on as a sound technician, sound guy.
The soundboard operator. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I got thrown into it kind of last minute. I came in during Tech Week, and that's when I really got all my cues down. But because it was the world premiere of Pinocchio, everything wasn't set until like the night after we started. So it was a little interesting.
You mentioned Tech Week. What is that?
Tech Week is pretty much, we have our technical rehearsals with all the actors in costumes. We had 2 actors mic'd up, and then they have props, and they're going through the scene changes and everything for the first time.
So you said that things were done the day after opening night showed up. Were you having some sort of technical difficulties when it came to getting a lot of Pinocchio together?
Yeah, well, the day before we opened, we had technical difficulties with the amp. We couldn't figure it out. Came back in the day of, and it turned out our amp had fried. So we had to get a whole new amp system put in before that show, and then we had to readjust everything and hopefully get it right. So then by the second night, we had to make sure we had everything settled, everything was hooked up correctly, and then if something didn't work from the previous night, we would have to maybe add a cue or lengthen the cue or shorten it, depending on how fast the actors are going.
That's rough. So a lot of your job in this regard is kind of like doing things on the fly.
Yeah, I had
cues.
the stage manager in my head, well, not in my head, but
Yeah,
on
in your
headset.
ear, yeah.
So I'd be adjusting to what I could hear, but because she is the stage manager, she had the final say. So if I went too high, she'd tell me to back down, and we'd find that happy medium.
So what was the ways in which you as a steward, but also with Pinocchio, a sound designer, what are like the ways you interacted with your crew, like, you know, before like, in production phase, but also during the show?
Well, I try and keep a very friendly attitude towards all the actors. A lot of the children I've seen for a while. They've been in CSM productions before, and a lot of them are like little siblings to me. So there's a lot of respect there, and I'd always make sure people are having a good time, because what RTD always says, when it becomes like work, you need to get out, and it's what I love to do, so I make sure everyone else is having a good time as well.
Yeah. So what kind of actors did you have for Pinocchio? You probably had a pretty good view of it, just kind of.
Yeah, Pinocchio himself, I want to say, was 12 years old, but he's super talented. He didn't even really need his mic. There was one night where his mic actually died out of nowhere, or it came unplugged another night from when he was doing something on stage, but he was still strong enough to be able to project and hear him over the music.
Yeah.
But it had a wide range. I think our youngest was, I don't think we had anyone younger than 12. No, actually we had little Jamie, who I believe is 8.
Yeah, this is like a CSM theater. How do you find these children to work and to play with you?
Most of them have heard through it through like newsletters or something,
Mm.
or they've been around for a while, and then those parents spread the word to their kids' friends and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a wide range of children coming to auditions.
Oh yeah, that's great. And so like friends of family,
Hmm.
that sort of thing. Okay, yeah.
So it's a very close knit, I'd say, group of people we work with.
Mm-hmm. So for Pinocchio itself, how would you say that like this production was like for you personally?
For me personally, it was a little bit hectic. There were a lot of obstacles, but it was a great show. Um, when you're doing a world premiere, it's going to have a lot of trials. Things are going to be changed. But overall, I wouldn't take back any second of it. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed the people I worked with. I enjoyed the people I met. And overall, it was a great show. I think it might have even been the best-selling show we had this
That's great.
semester.
That's great. What other productions are going on for the rest of the semester?
For this semester, we have a dance show coming up on Monday, December 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be working soundboard for that as well. But we don't have any other theatrical shows at CSM this semester. We have the next shows we have are in January. I want to say like the last weekend of January.
Oh, okay.
We have the Amish Project in the library,
Mm-hmm.
which are our cause theater shows, and they have a focus on school shootings
Oh,
to bring awareness to it.
yeah.
And within the library, I'm actually an actor in it as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Frank. And we will be right back with more from CSM's Theater.